Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be working down here by the water. Recently, we've done a fair bit of work over here, including the medium azure plate and the dark azure plate and all of the wedges in between them and the blue and all of the sand and all of that stuff. And we even did some of the dark blue and black plate in this corner as well. But today, I want to finish this and kind of get an idea as to where the rocks are going to go and where that lighthouse could go and the pier and all of that stuff. So let's jump right in. All right, so this is what we're currently looking at. So like I said, this corner of the base plate, or this corner of the table here, has this one base plate on it that is pretty much done with all of the plate on it. But this base plate, as well as this base plate, needs a lot of plate. And then over here, there's a little bit. And then over there is a fair bit as well. So I want to fill all this stuff in. And so I'm pretty much just going to set the camera down and get straight to work here, because there's a lot to do. And I did recently go to the Pick-a-Brick wall at the Lego store and get a whole bunch of dark blue plate. And also I've been making a couple Bricklink orders as well. So I have all different shapes and sizes and different shades of blue. So hopefully this will be enough to finish this whole area here and we can just get started. All right, so pretty much I'm just going through and starting with the sections that I already have most of done. And so I'm just going in and I'm adding all of the rest of the plate in and also all of the wedge plates as well. And I think this is turning out really, really nicely. And then once this section over by the rock edge and the edge of the table is pretty much done here, we're going to move over to the main section of water here that is essentially right in front of the beach. And we're going to go in and we are going to fill in all of the gaps that I had left the last time we worked on it. Once again, I think this looks great. I'm really, really happy with this. I think it's looking really, really good, especially now that all the gaps are filled in and all of the wedge plates are coming together really, really nicely. And so this is what it looks like so far. As you can see, this whole section right here is done, except for those two 1x1 plates. I just need to go and find those. But this entire rest of it is done here under the bridge, as well as over into the other section here that we just worked on. And I'm really, really happy with this. I think it looks great. And there's a lot more work to do. And unfortunately, I won't be able to tile everything today. I just don't have the tiles. But I've been looking around on Bricklink and also Lego's website to see if I can get what I need. And it looks like I can, so I will be doing that in the near future. So definitely stay tuned for that. But for today's video, we're going to continue with all of the wedge plates and the deeper water once we start moving more towards the right. But now that everything to the left is pretty much done, let's focus our attention over to the section that is all gray. So let's get started on putting all the plates down and adding some other details as well. All right, so I'm starting with the dark blue plate and I'm kind of just mapping out how I want that general shape to go. And then I'm going in with the wedge plates, both in blue and dark azure, and I'm kind of just lining it all up. And I think it looks pretty good. I am pretty happy with the shape of that. The blue section is kind of small, but I'm okay with that. I think it looks fine as it is. And then I'm going in and adding just a couple smaller dark blue plates just to help connect everything together. And now what I'm doing is actually creating a little bit of a rock jetty here. And I think this is actually starting to shape up pretty nicely. I'm using a lot of smaller slopes and curved slopes and quarter round tiles and things like that. And so I think this is looking good. The dark gray plate that is right next to or on the same level as the dark blue and the medium is, or the dark azure and all that stuff, that is going to be under the tiles. So I want it to kind of look like the rocks extend under the water as well. And let's check it out to see how everything looks. All right, so this is what it all looks like now. And so as you can see, this whole section here is done. And I went through up until the edge of the base plate here. And I didn't continue much farther past this yet because I wanted to at least get a general idea for what this is going to look like. But this is kind of my design so far. And it is raised up because I want the tiles to be at the same level as the slopes here. I don't want the slopes to be embedded in it. And I think this looks pretty good. And I tried to also add in a couple olive green pieces as well. And I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks good. I didn't continue this way yet, but I want this. It's a little narrow at this point, but I want it to widen up a little bit. So as you can see, it's 6 studs wide here, and then it goes to 8, and then I'm making a little bit extra over here, and I'm going to do the same over here as well. And then it'll kind of go out that way onto the sand and onto whatever is going to be over here. I have not fully figured that out yet. That's why I haven't done so much of this area. But I think next what we're going to do is probably just continue with the dark blue plate this way, because I have a lot of it. And like I said, from the pick-a-brick wall the other day, and I have all this space here, and so I might as well just go in and do that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, and then we're gonna probably come back to this. I'm not entirely sure what I want this to end up looking like, so I'm gonna think about it for a little bit. I might end up sleeping on it. Depends on how much time passes in between all these clips here, but for the time being, I'm gonna sit on this. I'm gonna think about it and how I want that whole upper section to go. But in the meantime, let's tackle this, and I will show you guys once it's done. All right, so I am a little over halfway done with this one base plate here, and it is a lot of plate, as you can see. It's mostly just the 3x3 dark blue plate, but I also went in and added a little bit of black throughout there as well. And so I think that looks good, and then once the tiles go over it, it'll kind of just give a very slight difference in color, which I think is good. And I also have all these random size dark blue plates as well. So there's just 1x1s, 1x2s, and 1x4s, which I've been using to fill in the gaps from all of the other black plate. So that's good. This is looking really, really good. And I still have 2 full stacks of 3x3 plate left and a bunch of these smaller stacks as well. So I should definitely have enough to finish this section of the base plate and also finish this area, and hopefully a decent amount of this as well, especially if I'm mixing in all of the black plate and stuff like that. I think it'll be fine, so I'm not super worried about running out. But worst case, I could always go back to the Lego store, and so I could always just get another box and another stack, and then like a bunch of other stuff that I might need. So not super worried about it, but we're just going to take it one step at a time, and hopefully this will be enough. All right, so it is now done. This whole base plate here is done, and I think it looks really good. I did go ahead and add some more black plate up at the top here, just to kind of make it a little bit more different, I guess is the word for it, but also to save on the dark blue plate, because I need to finish this and also this section right here as well with that right there. And so I don't know if that's going to be enough. So hopefully it is, but also we can kind of work around it as well, because I still don't know what exactly is going to go up here. So we're going to kind of just take that one step at a time. But in the meantime, now that this is done, we can come back to this and we can try and sort this out, because I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with it. But at the moment, I think I want it to kind of widen. Like this part will just kind of come straight and then curve a little bit over to here where the sand's missing. And then this will curve a lot. And then it'll kind of, I don't know. It kind of makes sense in my head, but it also doesn't at the same time. So I think the best way to fix that is to just get some pieces down, and worst case, I just rip it all up. But in the meantime, let me get started on working on this, and I will show you guys what I come up with. All right, so once again, we are working on this rock work again, and I think it's really starting to take shape now. I'm actually quite happy with how all of it is looking. I was a little skeptical at first with just that end section done, but I think with adding the bigger part in the back, like what we're doing right now, I think it's really, really starting to come together nicely. And I just think that it looks good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still not totally sure what is going to happen on that back base plate there that we haven't started on yet. I don't know how it's going to transition from the sand to the rock to the deep water and also the pier and all that stuff. So not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet, but I think we're off to a good start with this now. And so now we can check it out in real time, and I'll show you guys everything that I've done. All right, so I went ahead and I worked on this area like you just saw, and I think it looks pretty good. I am pretty happy with that actually, and it does widen up a little bit. It's pretty straight, but this edge is kind of curving a little bit, which is what I wanted. And then this one is going to curve that way, I think. It's going to curve that way a little bit, probably end maybe like here-ish, a little bit more sand in the back there, and then kind of take it from there. I think that might be the best way to go. I'm still not sure what I want to do with that, so I'm going to save that for its own video, I think. But this is off to a good start. I'm happy with it. I do need to go in and add a little bit more detail up here because that's a little flat for my liking. But I think this whole section looks good here, and I'm happy with it. So let me continue working on this, and I will show you guys the progress that I make. And hopefully we can also get this side of the water in as well, and then this base plate will be done because the seam is right here where this 2x2 brick is, so that would be pretty awesome to get that done today. All right, so I've been pretty busy, and I did finish this base plate right here. As you can see, this is all done now, or at least kind of roughed in. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking so far, and I really like the dark blue up against the gray here. And again, the gray on the base plate right here where my finger is, that is where the water tiles are going to overlap that just to make it look like the rocks are going under the water as well. And I also extended the beach a little bit to kind of wrap around the back of the rocks here. And I really like that. I think it looks good. And then once I figure out what I'm doing with all this, then I can expand that out as needed. And I'm happy with this. I think it looks good. This is a great start. And I could also go in and add this as well, but then I'd have to start figuring out what exactly I want to do here, because again, this is the seam of a base plate, so I can't connect these two modules together, so I have to figure that out. But I think we're off to a really good start here, and I'm extremely happy with this. And it is a mess here, but this whole section here is now done. So let me clean up my mess that I've made here, and I'll show you guys the final product. And so I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. And obviously, it's not just the water down here with the beach. It's also in combination with the road and also the modular buildings in the back as well. And I will have affiliate links down in the description for the road plates as well as the boutique hotel, actually, because they have that on Amazon, surprisingly. But I'll have affiliate links for the both of those, and also the new Spider-Verse set. I'll leave a link to that as well because I think that car is really good. And the building's a little small, but the potential to modify it and create a modular building out of it is really, really there. And I really think that it's a good idea to pick up that set and try your skills at building a mock. If you've never done it before, I think that's a great place to start, is to modify sets. And so I think that's a great idea. But if you're interested in the official ones, boutique hotel, and then obviously the roads to connect all of your buildings together, and to also go over amazing water detail like this. The affiliate link does not cost you anything extra, but it will give me a small commission on any purchases using that link. But this is what the entirety of the ocean looks like up until this point here. This is all the work we've done. So this whole base plate, this whole base plate, that whole base plate, as well as those down there as well. So there is a lot of plate here, and there's going to be even more tile sitting on top of it once I place that order. So yeah, this looks really, really good. I'm extremely happy with this. And some of you guys have been saying that the beach is too small or that the water takes up too much space and I should put other things here instead. But I like this, and so that's the reason why I'm having it. And also, it might seem like a lot of space right now in this area here, but I plan to put a lighthouse in this corner. And also, once I start putting boats into here as well, it's going to make it look a lot smaller. And so that's why I'm dedicating this much space to it. And most importantly, it makes me happy. So that's pretty much it. I'm really happy with this. I did also go in and add one more strip of the 3x3 plate on this other base plate here, as well as this one. And also over here, I extended the beach as well as this wall around here. And I think this looks really good. I'm happy with this, and I think we are in a good spot now. And so actually just doing this with the light gray brick really helped kind of visualize it for me. And so now, instead of having all of these different things going on, we can just focus on the rock, the water, and the pier without having to worry about the beach. So I'm happy with this. And on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on the water or any stories that you want me to add to it, make sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.